Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Unexpected Podcast. This is episode number 2, and I'm Frank Buzalaki, here along with Carter Knocktrop. Carter, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Hello. So this week we're going to do something different. We're going to do 2 stories, ghost stories and mystery stories in Minnesota, and then 2 more in Wisconsin. Since I live in Minnesota, I'm doing 2 stories that Frank has not heard yet, and then Frank's going to do 2 stories that I haven't heard yet. So the first story I'm going to start off with is coming from the TwinCities.com. It's about the Palmer House Hotel in Sauk Center.
Where is Sauk Center located near?
I believe it's here in the metro, but I really could be wrong. I've heard of it,
Okay.
but I haven't actually been there. So the Palmer House Hotel is at St. Clair Lewis Avenue and Main Street in downtown Sauk Center. Apparently, it is haunted. The person who bought it, she didn't believe in hauntings until she bought it. So, according to other website testimonials from guests and employees, they mentioned hearing sound of children playing in the hallway. Even though there are no children staying at the hotel at the time, there was furniture being moved around in the rooms, even when the rooms was on the top floor. Unexplained temperature changes, things going missing only to be returned or never seen again, and even some ghost sightings. The owner says she didn't believe in ghosts until she bought the hotel, and has had several encounters. After a stranger told her about a dream that dedicated her to the spot, she says she dug up what looked like rib bones in the basement. She put them in a box, and when she returned for the box, the box, you guessed it, it has disappeared. And then there was a woman wearing a red turban and a flower and scarf who walked out of the bar into the lobby on one New Year's Day. The owner said she was talking to hotel guests who saw the woman too, but when she returned to ask the woman how she could be of service, the woman disappeared. So, the owner says there doesn't seem to be any certain patterns to the manifestations, and apparently she kept a journal while she was the owner. And so she does point out to the possibility that a fire destroyed the hotel previous to the Palmer House, which was built in 1901 on the same site, which may have something to do with the hauntings. However, there reportedly were no fatalities in the fire, and everybody knows dead people are the ingredients for ghosts.
So, it's that's interesting. I can kind of understand, like, the ghost sightings, and, like, maybe hearing some noises, or even, I can understand, I shouldn't say hearing the noises, I can understand, ghost sightings and the things going missing, because people misplace things constantly, and, if you're exhausted, everybody knows, especially if the lights are dim, you see a shadow, you're like, ooh, who's in my house? But the thing that always freaks me out is, like, the children, like hearing kids' voices and stuff like that. That just, ugh, that stuff freaks me out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big, like, believer in ghosts. Like, I grew up above a funeral home, and, well,
So
I didn't see any ghosts.
Even this hotel, this Palmer House Hotel, it has been the site of many paranormal investigations, including a visit from the Ghost Adventures crew, which is apparently a pretty famous travel channel, ghost adventure, supernatural type of channel. And it came out of the it came to the hotel, and they did like EVPs, and In room 17, they experienced many EVPs, apparently, called electronic voice phenomena, is what EVP stands for.
So you mentioned that the owner, stated that she had a theory of the hotel burning down. Were there any like documentation, like a police report, record, or anything like that that may have led to her conclusion or theory of that you're aware of?
It does say that. So it was actually an actual thing that happened of the building burning down, but she couldn't find any data or information of people actually dying in the fires.
Hmm.
So the fire, I guess, is real of the previous hotel that used to be on that site. So now they haven't seen any deaths from the fire, though.
All right. Well, it's kind of interesting that you mentioned fire and buildings burning down, because that kind of brings me into the Summerwind Mansion, which is located near West Bay Lake in Vilas County, it's that, for those of you who don't know, that's located in northeastern Wisconsin. Apparently, the house was built in the early 20th century as a fishing lodge. However, in 1916, it was purchased by Robert Patterson Lamont. Forgive me if I pronounce that name wrong. I'm really bad with names. And apparently, he hired some Chicago architects for remodeling and stuff like that, and do some fancy renovations to it. But there is a legend, and now I'm just basing this off of Wikipedia searches and stories I've heard, being that I live in northern Wisconsin. Apparently, Mr. Lamont fired a pistol at a ghost one night and was so frightened that him and his family completely abandoned the house. Some other legends that kind of follow the Lamont family include that the subsequent owners, the ones from before, who were Arnold and Ginger Hinshaw, were also so disturbed by the hauntings that Arnold suffered a nervous breakdown and Ginger attempted suicide. Now, along with that, there are quite a bit of legends that kind of follow along. So, a lot of the natives refer to the property as Lamont's Mansion, but the supernatural tales first dismayed by Ginger Hinshaw's father, Raymond Borber.
What
It's gonna take me a little bit to get these names down.
what source are you getting this from?
These are Wikipedia sources, like
Okay.
I said. Yep. Yeah. So, Wikipedia, how that goes. So, it said that the mansion was haunted, and then referred to as Summerwind. It doesn't really give a super in-depth reason as to why they call it the Summerwind Mansion. But some versions of the story claim that Bobber purchased the property only to abandon it because the mansion's rooms had the supernatural power to change shape and dimensions at will.
The rooms?
Yeah, the rooms would just allegedly just kind of shift and change. It kind of reminds me of the Winchester Mansion. I don't know how familiar you are with that.
Where's that one located?
That one's not. I don't remember where that one's located. I think it's south in the southern part of the states. That mansion's owned by the Winchesters, the one who make the famous rifles. And there's actually a whole movie about it. That's how I actually learned about the whole legend behind it. Yeah, it was that movie.
Wasn't there a door that opened up just to the outside? There was nothing there, and there was
this house is so wackily laid out, and the reason that it kind of reminds me of it, so the rooms wouldn't change supernaturally there. Apparently, the Winchester family was so haunted that the owner of the Winchester Mansion kept building rooms to try to confuse the ghosts.
Yeah,
Because they were being haunted by all the people that the Winchester rifle killed.
Interesting.
So, that's all I have for this story, the Winchester Mansion. Any questions for me, Carter?
And the Summerwind Mansion too.
Or Summerwind, yeah,
And
the
the
Summerwind
Summerwind.
Mansion. That's what I meant.
So it was built in the early 20th century. Does it give
Hmm.
you a year?
No, it doesn't say a year. It just told me that it was built in the early 20th century.
And it's in Vilas County.
Yep, Vilas County.
Now, where is that to where you live?
It's about 20-minute drive east. Yeah, 20-minute drive east of here.
Oh, wow. So this isn't too far from you.
No, I've actually been to the ruins that are there.
Can you actually go in the actual mansion?
No, the mansion itself actually ended up burning down. It burned down in 1985, and the reason that it burned down, it was the Land O'Lakes Township tried to demolish it because it stayed vacant for so long, and it was just a staging area for local teens and burglaries and vandalism and stuff like that. So they tried to destroy it by lighting it on fire.
Wow. That's a little excessive.
And a little bit of a fun fact.
Wow.
In October of 2005, Summerwind was featured on a Disney Channel episode of A Haunting. It doesn't tell me what episode, but it does say it was featured in an episode of did I say Disney Channel? I meant to say Discovery Channel. I don't remember which one I said.
Yeah, I think you said just Disney.
I don't think it was. Disney just does a whole show on hauntings now.
Wow. So, well, I actually have another article too. There's a famous brewery that's located here in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's called the Schmidt Brewery. So, I got this from MinnesotaMonthly.com. So the Schmidt Brewery, apparently, according to this website, they make Urlager maker site of affordable artist housing. The next door to Keg and Case Market is mad haunted. Like people actually die there in horrible and haunted ways. So
is this like a factory or?
Oh yeah, so this is actually a brewery.
Oh, brewery. Okay.
Yep, a brewery, and it's actually one of the largest breweries, west of Chicago at the time. In I think the late 1800s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so in 1884, Jacob Schmidt, a Bavarian immigrant, settled in St. Paul and began making beer as an owner with the North Star Brewery, located in Minneapolis or in St. Paul. 9 years later, after 84, he was detained by police but never charged for allegedly shooting some random pigeon hunters docked on the river behind the brewery. So he killed some pigeon hunters behind the brewery.
Is there like any reason for him just deciding to kill some pigeon hunters?
It doesn't seem like it. So
that's what I do on my weekends. I go out and kill random pigeon hunters.
Yeah. So overall, the Schmidt's family cinematic history goes from random shootings to gangland kidnappings, and it has made a magnet recently for ghost hunters. So a London-born historian named Adrian Lee and the founder of International Paranormal Society claims it as an inspiration for his book, Mysterious Minnesota. And he says the place still sends chills down his spine. So after the pigeon hunters, and he killed them behind the brewery, now it's the late 1890s when the Schmidt Brewery was officially born. A year later, the original one burned to the ground. And at the height...
Were there any fatalities in that fire?
I don't see anything about it. But in the at the height of the Prohibition in 1934, the son of the owners was kidnapped by the infamous Ma Baker gang and held for $200,000. Which at the time, I don't even know how much that is today. $1934 of $200,000. So that's got to be a lot of money today. But intrigue aside, most of the hauntings have to do with ordinary brewery workers dying in horrendous ways. In 1896, 2 workers in the brewery died in an explosion. In 1902, a cooper plummeted down an unmarked elevator shaft. So he fell and died from falling down an elevator shaft. And then in 1904, Matthew Kohler, a guy whose job it was to light gas lamps in the brewery, he died from inhaling flames.
Oh my gosh.
That's a
That's a pretty gruesome way to go. Holy crap.
yeah. That's a
Good lord.
yeah. He went
Oh,
out.
how'd you die?
He-
Inhaled some flames.
He went out in flames.
Good.
So
Jeez.
during a recent investigation, Lee communicated with Kohler in the bowels of the building. It was, he says, a complete vindication of ghost hunting and physics process, and it creeped him out bad.
Yeah, that would be. Ugh, I couldn't imagine.
And I believe it's still a brewery today. But it's pretty famous. You check it up and it has the word Schmidt in giant letters. You can see it all around St. Paul.
That is really cool. Wow.
So,
Man, I'm just thinking about that death. I mean, jeez.
which,
The one where you inhaled the flames?
Oh, yeah.
Good lord. Like,
So what would that do with that? Like burn the inside of your lungs?
to me, that sounds like it would explode your lungs, but I'm not a doctor.
I don't know. Everybody seems to claim to be a doctor today.
Oh. Yeah, no kidding. We should WebMD it. What happens when you inhale freaking fire?
Yeah.
All right, so my next story is the Siren Bridge, which is located in Siren, Wisconsin. I'm not too sure where Siren, Wisconsin is compared to where I am. I've drove through it, but it's been so long.
I drive through it every time I come back to the cities.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Well,
Wait,
so
where are you getting this one from?
oh, this one is from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a tongue twister. So it says here that this much is true, that a young family was headed home on County Highway B when their car crashed through the guardrail and landed upside down in the swampy waters below. A father, mother, and their young daughter were trapped inside the vehicle and they all drowned. So that much is, that did happen. There's evidence to kind of back that up. However, there have been many people who have claimed that have driven past and stuff like that. They've claimed that they've heard a young girl's voice through their radio saying, "Mommy, help me, I can't get out."
As they drive over the bridge?
As they're driving over the bridge. Well, it doesn't say necessarily the bridge, but I'm assuming there's a bridge there, considering they call it the Siren Bridge. It says that a number of motorist vehicles who have passed that fateful spot have reported hearing a voice of a young girl crying through the radio, "Mommy, help me, I can't get out." I'm just pointing that out right now. If I ever hear that come through my radio while I'm driving, I'm shitting my pants. Flat out. Like,
Yeah.
I will have a full load to clean up when I get home.
That
like,
would
can you
all
just
be
imagine just-
really freaky.
Oh my gosh, just driving along, jamming out to Ed Sheeran or whatever young kids listen to these days. All of a sudden you just hear, "Mommy, help me, I can't get out." Oh! Mm-mm. 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 I am not, mm-mm.
This is in Siren, Wisconsin.
Siren, Wisconsin.
That's freaky. So,
Next time you come to visit, you're going to have to drive over that bridge and let me know what happens.
does it say which highway it's on? Or which road?
Yeah, County Highway B, I believe it is. Let me just double check before I misquote myself here. Yeah, County Highway B when their car crashed.
And how many people were in there? You said 4?
3. It was a mother, a father, and their young daughter. And allegedly, when you drive over the spot that they went over the guardrail, you can hear a young girl through the radio saying, "Mommy, help me, I can't get out."
Yuck.
Like, oh my gosh.
Sounds like straight out of a horror movie.
So, that's our stories that we have. But now, Mr. Carter, do you have any ghost stories that have happened to you personally?
Um, I just had a conversation with somebody today. I haven't really had too many ghost stories, even though I try to experience a lot, other than the only one I can really think of is this one time I went to a cemetery in northern Wisconsin, and I did see a floating orb. It was late at night. It was kind of foggy out. I don't know. It might have been just a light that was above a gravestone. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think it actually was, or if it was an actual supernatural ghost that I seen. But other than that, really, not much. I seen a bottle cap fly off a counter one time. How about you?
Well, I don't really have any ghost stories, which is pretty ironic because I make a huge horror buff. I love, like, ghost hunting or, like, just trying to, like, explain the unexplained. Like, I love trying to do that kind of stuff. And there's this house located in Butternut, Wisconsin. And this house has been abandoned for so long. I don't know the history behind it. I know a legend that I was told by another person. Don't know how true it is, but allegedly this house was built in the early, like, I think it was 1900s.
Is this
And
is this the butternut house we always used to go to?
yeah, it's that one. Yep. And I don't remember. You might have been with us for this story. You were actually, because I still have a video of it somewhere. I think it's on my parents' computer. But so a little bit of backstory on the house. Apparently, I believe it was built in the 1900s, and there was a husband, a wife, and I believe 2 kids that were living there. Well, something happened, and the husband ended up having a complete and total breakdown, ended up killing his wife and throwing her body in a well that was just outside of the house. He then kept his kids captive for a while until he eventually killed both of them, disposed of their bodies in the well, and then killed himself. But the only way to get to this house that I'm aware of is you actually have to park in a cemetery, walk about a quarter of a mile down some train tracks, cut off into the woods, go through some brush, and then there's this creepy house, and I swear it looks like something out of The Conjuring. It is so creepy and bizarre.
Yeah, last time I was there, the roof was like this like purple color, this like super dark like purple looking color.
And then the window up the top was like black.
Yeah, it was freaky.
It's a super creepy. Like, just as you walk up to it, it gives you the chills. You're like, ooh. Well, this in particular time that we went there, it was probably about midnight, between midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning. And we get there, we're going through this house, and we ended up going upstairs in the house, and we're looking through all these rooms that are up there. And it's like really creepy. There's this like really old bed frame that's all rusted out. There's like articles of clothing laying everywhere, like little kids' socks, just everything that gives you like the I probably shouldn't be here vibe.
A dead raccoon or two.
Yeah, a dead raccoon or two was there.
Maybe some old meth needles.
I didn't see any of those. But I kind of go ahead. We were in a group of people, and I believe, Carter, I think you were with us. But I kind of went ahead, and I was digging in through some other rooms, and I had my camera on me with a light and everything on it. And I'm looking through this one room, and it's just this overwhelming sense of just eerie. It's just, you're like in a constant state of like, ooh, I shouldn't be here. Well, I heard some noises from the other room, so I go and I turn my camera in there. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just see black start moving. And it got big. It was like ridiculously huge. And I saw it like run away from me. And at that point, I was like, nope, nope, nope. I turned around, I started walking away. I'm like, nope, not playing with this. Well, I get back to the rest of the group, and they're like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened? And I explained what happened, and we could still hear what sounded like pounding from that room. And we're all just kind of standing there, like, in shock. Like, what is this? Well, a few minutes go by, and we're still hearing it, and we're like, okay, well, if it was a ghost or something like that, it would have killed us by now. So we, being stupid kids, we go back and check it out, and here it was a turkey vulture that happened to have fallen through the roof and got one of its legs stuck and was sitting there flapping to get out.
Yeah, I was.
Probably the.
I was not there for that one.
That was probably the freakiest thing that has ever happened to me. Because it was just that, like, split second, you're in this house, you're already, you hear these stories, and you're already in this, like, kind of state of, like, fear as you're going into it. And then to have something so bizarre, like a freaking turkey vulture happens to be nesting in this house. Like, what are the odds of that happening? Oh, no. But, yeah. So anyways, yeah, that was I would say probably the scariest thing that ever happened to me. But, well, Mr. Cartier, I'm pretty sure that's all the time we have for today.
Yeah, well, we cover some good topics. If you guys know of any creepy stories in the Midwest, between Minnesota, Wisconsin, or even Michigan, drop them in the comment box down below to let us know what scared you the most, or what story that we shared scared you the most. If you like our content, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share with a friend. Thank you, everybody.
Adios.
And bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.